Welcome back to CAISTROLOGY, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be doing your June 2021 horoscopes. Wow, June is a huge month astrologically speaking, guys. We've got a new moon solar eclipse in Gemini, followed closely by the astrological event of the year, and that is the Saturn in Aquarius retro square Uranus in Taurus transit. And to top it off, we've got Mercury retrograde for the first 3 weeks of the month. If you didn't catch my May horoscopes, I strongly suggest that you watch the last few minutes of those, because I will discuss the Mercury retrograde transit for your sign at length. I won't be going over it again this month. If you want to skip the rest of this intro, go right ahead. I've got a timestamp in the description box below. But for the rest of you who are sticking around, just a note on which horoscope to watch. Your ascendant horoscope, otherwise known as your rising sign horoscope, will be the most accurate for you overall. By all means, go ahead and watch your sun and moon horoscopes as well. Your sun will pertain more to your career and your long-term goals, whereas your moon horoscope will be more about your home life, your living circumstances, and your emotional world. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the horoscopes. Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your June 2021 horoscope. On the 6th of June, your ruling planet Mars, which is in Cancer, will be opposing Pluto in Capricorn. Mars is in your 4th house of home and family life, and Pluto in your 10th house. It's really about your career and your professional life. So oppositions can see us needing to make some kind of compromise. It really carries the energy of a push and pull situation, and oppositions usually indicate that another person is triggering us to do something, especially because Mars is your ruling planet. This indicates that the pressure is going to come from either your boss, the pressure that you feel from your career, or some kind of authority figure. With this particular transit, you may feel as though the demands of your professional life are impeding your ability to be a good parent, or this could even be your responsibilities and duties around the house, whether that's taking care of things around the house, renovating, or maybe you look after your parents or some kind of elderly person in your family. So this clash between your responsibilities may see you feeling very weighed down and very emotional, because once again, Mars is your ruling planet, and in the 4th house of your emotional stability, this can see you experiencing a lot of feelings of guilt, as is the nature of Mars transiting the sign of Cancer. And also Mars is in fall when it is in Cancer, which means that Pluto really has the upper hand here. So if you do work for someone, or you've got a really tough boss, just be mindful that on this particular date, or even a few days before and a few days after, there may be some unreasonable demands coming from your boss or someone at work. And if you do happen to work for yourself, just, take the foot off the gas pedal, because you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and this is having a detrimental impact on your emotional stability, or on your family and your loved ones, or anyone that you live with in your home situation, in your living situation. Now, on the 10th of June, we will see our annual solar eclipse taking place in the sign of Gemini in your 3rd house, and it's actually going to be tightly conjunct Mercury, which once again is retrograde, and it will be squaring Neptune. So let's now unpack this a little bit. Solar eclipses always bring something new into our lives. It basically will indicate some kind of dramatic new beginning or event taking place. And with this solar eclipse, you will be aware of the situation, or whatever is new that is going to take place. It'll be something which has been in your peripheral, or that you have been made aware of already. The reason that I say that is because Mercury, which is retrograde, brings things back which we've already experienced, whether that's people, places, things. In this scenario, it's more likely to be a person, a contract, or some kind of opportunity which involves working on a project or collaborating with other people, especially because it is taking place in your third house. So with solar eclipses, we often see some kind of event take place about 10 days before or 10 days after the actual date of the eclipse, which once again is on the 10th of June. So keep an eye out for anything which takes place between the start of the month and about the 20th of June, whether that's a business opportunity, a collaborative opportunity, or even someone entering your life, or I should say re-entering your life. So the fact that this is taking place in your third house suggests that you may be reintroduced to someone that you've already met, and this relationship could develop further. An acquaintance that you made could actually become a friend. It's someone that you I don't want to say welcome into your life. And the reason I say this is because the square to Neptune shows that there is some kind of resistance with this relationship or with this new beginning taking off. Now, on one level, this may be that you are proposing someone to something and they're a little bit uncertain about your motives, or perhaps, it could be the reverse effect of that. And also with Neptune, with the square to Neptune in Pisces, this is really, cloaking this scenario in some kind of murkiness or cloudiness. There's something very unclear about the nature of this proposition or the nature of this relationship developing further. But just remember that with solar eclipses, it always involves the north node and the south node. And because it's a solar eclipse, this is a new beginning taking place. And thus it will be, I suppose you could say, karmic or even dharmic in nature. Now, for some of you, you may see the beginning of an education course take off, whether that's you participating in a course, or you could even be hosting a course and performing in some kind of educator or trainer role. And again, there's going to be some kind of murkiness with this particular new beginning. It may get off to a rough start. It may be delayed. On a more material level, Neptune and the 12th house both indicate sacrifice and the dissolving of something. So you may feel like you have to make a real sacrifice for this new beginning to take off, and that is where we can see this resistance coming into play. Now, on the 11th of June, Mars, which is your ruling planet, once again, will enter the sign of Leo. And Mars likes being in Leo. It likes to be in fire signs. So with Mars transiting your 5th house, bearing in mind that Mars hasn't transited your 5th house for about 2 years, this can see you being really motivated to spend more energy on your own existing business if you already have one, or you'll be putting a lot of time and effort into your hobbies and your passions, and this can really excite you. Mars also represents starting something new and taking new initiatives. So if you don't have your own business already, this is a fantastic time for you to go ahead and create one. You will have so much energy, you'll feel really, really motivated. And, even if you have your own business already, this could see you wanting to expand this further because Mars is transiting Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun likes to expand and breathe life and vitality into new things. And your 5th house represents your own creative intelligence. So if you are wanting to start something new with your business, or like I said, start your own business, or even a new creative pursuit, go for it. This is a very fruitful and energizing time for you, Aries. On a different note, if you have children, you can be spending a lot more time with your children. You can be having fun with them, and you may also be exerting more personal effort towards your relationship with your children, especially your firstborn child. Now, in terms of your romantic sector, your romantic life can absolutely get fired up during this period of time. You might actually initiate something with someone new who takes your fancy. You might actually meet them at a party, at the cinemas, at a sporting at a sporting event. If you play team sports, that's another way that you might meet someone. And if you are already in an existing relationship, this can see you wanting to inject the passion and the spark back into your relationship. Now, because Mars is your ruling planet, this effort will be coming from you, okay? It's not going to be your partner who's initiating, spicing things up in your romantic life or in the bedroom. All the effort's going to have to come from you, but you're going to enjoy it. So once again, go for it. Now, on the 15th of June, we will see the biggest astrological event of 2021 taking place, and that is the Saturn in Aquarius retro square Uranus in Taurus transit. And this square is occurring between your second house with Uranus and your 11th house with Saturn. So we did experience this transit back in February earlier this year, but Saturn was not retrograde at that time. And the last time that we will see this transit take place will be on the 23rd / the 24th of December, depending where you live in the world. So let's break it down. Squares always have the energy of Mars, which is quite tense and conflictual. Now, two of your money houses are being activated here. The second house rules your financial resources, your valuables, and your possessions, whereas your 11th house represents your gains and your salary. And your 11th house also represents your long-term goals for your future and what kind of legacy you want to leave. So with this square taking place between two of your money houses, you may experience the need to change direction when it comes to your long-term goals. And this may arise with you having to invest more of your personal resources, as shown by Uranus being in your second house. With this retro square taking place, you are going to need to put in 3 times more effort at least, and this is to achieve your long-term goals and ambitions. And with this square being retrograde, you will be reevaluating and reassessing your long-term goals, and you'll be looking at how you can implement new ways to invest in these goals further or to maintain the trajectory that you're currently on. So you may be revisiting why you even started some kind of initiative, why you even have this long-term goal, or you want to achieve this thing, whether this is, 5 years or 10 years or 20 years down the track. And also you're going to be required to reassess what your values are, which is represented by your second house. Now, your financial situation can dramatically shift or change around this time. So you could be investing actual personal resources in order to further improve these long-term goals and dreams. And also don't forget that Saturn doesn't just rule Aquarius, it also rules Capricorn, which is your 10th house. So this is about you investing further in your career. Maybe you didn't think that you need to spend so much money to get something off the ground. Maybe you need to let go of some kind of valuable or asset or possession in order to fund your dreams and your goals. On a different note, you may experience a huge shift in your values, which is represented by your second house, and also your worldviews, or even how you feel about your friendship network or some kind of community or group that you're a part of. You may have a moment of a sudden realization or epiphany where you realize that maintaining these connections to some kind of group or community or friendship circle just isn't in alignment with your values anymore. So they can get quite a big shock or surprise when you turn around and say, hey, this isn't working for me anymore. This isn't working out. This isn't what I believe in. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to extract myself from this situation or from this alliance with this community or with this group. Now, we will be under the effects of the Saturn square Uranus transit for the whole of 2021, because as I said, the last time that we will see the Saturn square Uranus transit take place will be on the 23rd / the 24th of December. So you may make some big shifts or changes around this time, but you may not actually pull the trigger, so to speak, until the end of the year. Now, on the 21st of June, the Sun will enter Cancer, which will be in your 4th house. And on the 21st of June, we will also see Jupiter stationing retrograde in your 12th house. Jupiter has been in Pisces, transiting your 12th house for the last 5 weeks. So this moment will really, this day will really be a moment for you to pause and reflect on what you've learned over the last 5 weeks, especially with regard to spirituality, the occult, creativity, and you may have even experienced some kind of lessons in boundary setting, but also you may have found a lot of compassion in your heart for people from all walks of life, all sentient beings, and you may have even experienced a profound healing in some aspect of your life, even in a past life, because that is represented by the 12th house. Now, on the 23rd of June, Mercury will station direct in your 3rd house. So you can reap the rewards of some kind of enormous shift that you experience in your mentality or even in your inner dialogue and how you speak to yourself. You may have spent the last 3 or so weeks while Mercury's been retrograde really reevaluating and thinking deeply about how you speak to yourself. What's going on up here? When you're just thinking to yourself and making plans, are you being very harsh on yourself or very critical towards yourself? This Mercury retrograde that we've just had in Gemini in your 3rd house, Aries, can see you having a very, very positive change with your mentality, as I mentioned, but also there may be an improvement with how you communicate with others and even a positive shift in relationships with siblings, friends, colleagues, and teammates, etc. Now, on the 24th of June, Venus in Cancer in your 4th house will be opposing Pluto in Capricorn in your 10th house. So again, we see an opposition between your family life and your home life and your 10th house, which is your professional life. So there may be pressure in your family life or in your home life, and this pressure may make you feel like you have to make a choice between your relationships and your career, and this decision that you have to make will dramatically impact one or the other or both. Venus rules your 7th house, which is relationships, and it also rules your 2nd house, which is your values. So you may feel the need to cut off some kind of romantic relationship. It could be a professional relationship or even a close one-on-one friend, and this could be as a result of it not being in alignment with your professional life and your reputation and how you want to appear in the public eye. Or it could just be that your partner, whether that's romantic or business or friend, was unsupportive of your career and your endeavors with your professional life. For some of you, you may be resenting your career or your job at this time because it may be impeding your ability to either find a romantic partner if you're single, or it could be having a detrimental impact on your relationships as represented by your 7th house. Now, on the 25th of June, there will be a full moon in Capricorn at 3 degrees, and this is in your 10th house of career once again. This full moon has a lovely easy, beneficial, flowing energy to it. And the reason for that is because Moon is sextile Jupiter in Pisces, and also the Sun will be trining Jupiter as well. So with this full moon, something can reach a culmination point or completion with regard to your career or your professional life. You may achieve a milestone in your career. You could achieve some kind of promotion or even a change in title. It doesn't necessarily need to have financial connotations, but it's something that you can be happy about and proud of and really celebrate. It could be as simple as completing some project which you've been working on, especially something which you started either around January this year, so the new moon in Capricorn this year, or it could have been around December 2019 at the new moon in Capricorn, which was very close to this degree, this full moon in Capricorn at 3 degrees. Lastly, if you are looking at retiring, you can definitely have an easy exit and transition into the next stage of your life. So if that's the case, congratulations. And Aries, that's all I have for you for June 2021. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to CAISTROLOGY if you'd like to see more content from me. Enjoy the month ahead, and I will see you guys next month.